Hey, it's Blake Morrison here. We're running with another YCS top. Did pretty good. My best showing was in the main event. I went 10-0 for the first 10 rounds, and I only dropped one game in those rounds. Then I lost to Runick at the 11th round to stop the perfect record, but it was a pretty good run. And then in top 32, I lost to Shuping. That was unfortunate. I'm not 100% sure if I could have played it a bit better. I definitely didn't draw the best in game 3, but is what it is, right? Trying to learn from it. We're going to Nats next. I want to start with the shutouts. So Angus and Josh for coming with me to the event. They're the GOATs. They stayed with me. I was going to come by alone, but they ended up coming with me, and that was really sick. Lucas Sacco for helping me with the deck list. I wasn't really sure which variant to play, and I tested with him for a bit, and he definitely sold me on playing the Snake Eyes Kashtira list. And he gave me a lot of help for the main deck. Sherwood and Tyler for testing with me online. Once I locked in on Snake Eyes Kash, Sherwood stayed up with me to 4 a.m. Every single night, helping me test all the different ideas and helping me theory out the whole side. All of the Edmonton guys, anyone else I haven't missed there. Dylan for giving me a really good deal on the whole core. Shout out to all the Halifax dudes for cheering me on the whole time. And Common Box Games, the best local in Edmonton. I love these guys, opened by really good dudes. These are my friends for a really long time. And you Blake5 for 5% off on their website. They ship all over the world. Edmonton, Canada and America at least. Anyways, so on to the deck profile. We got all the stuff you've seen before: Ash, Poplars, Oak, 2 Flambergs. And then the one probably difference you might not see is instead of Snake Eye Diabellstar, we played Jet. The reason for that was because we actually felt like the Jet was a good extender in situations where you had access to all the cards and you still had OSS. And we were using it to make a really good card in the extra deck. I'll probably talk more about this when we get to the extra deck. Then you got the Diabellstars, the Wanteds, the Temple, the OSS, the Bonfires, all the ways to search the rest of the engine. And then for the Kashtira cards, we played Unicorn Fenrir, 3 Planet because Droll isn't real, and Birth. You can still combo through Droll with Diabellstar and Planet if you get hit with it, but the value that Planet adds to the deck when you're playing cards like 3 Droplet is insurmountable. You have so many free ways to resolve droplets in this deck with the planets. If you draw droplets, you'll go Planet, search Fenrir, activate Fenrir effect to search Unicorn, chain Droplet, send both for free, search the Unicorn, summon the Unicorn, search Birth, bring back the Fenrir, and that was all with just 2 cards in your hand. And you negated 2 cards, put 2 7s on the board. It is really good. The logic for this was, I felt like opening a Unicorn helps you play through hand traps in the same way that Crossout would, but it's way better going second than Crossout is. When you open Planet, when you have Crossout and you're going second, it only just trades with a hand trap that you hope your opponent has. But if you go Planet, search Fenrir, summon Fenrir, you're trading with board the whole time. And then when you go first, if you use Planet, search Unicorn, summon Unicorn, normal Snake Eye Ash, and that gets Veilered, you still have a way to climb after that point. You can climb into Princess summon back Ash, Ash send Planet, and then now you're still going. The same way that Crossout helps stop hand traps hitting you, but it's just infinitely better going second, and it makes your end board stronger than a conventional end board, because when you open cracked hands, you can end on a Fenrir with a Birth or a Unicorn with a Birth, and you just randomly rip stuff. When I go first against Tenpai, and they hand trap me on anything else, Unicorn, rip 1 Biden Dragon, I find a way to leave Unicorn on the board, and then we rip 2nd Biden Dragon the second they use any monster effect, and their deck blows when you ripped both the Biden Dragons. It's impossible for them to OTK if you have anything. So the logic, we'll talk about the droplets more in a second, but that's why the Kashtira cards are in. And we opted to not side these out pretty much ever. It was only Voiceless that we took these out for. Then for the hand traps, we only played 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, and 3 Imperms. The logic for this is we felt like these are the best 9 hand traps in the game, and if I could play more of these, I definitely would. But when you start putting cards in like Nib, which are pretty bad against Voiceless, pretty bad against Tenpai, and like Mourner, again, you're just trading with a Skull Guardian search. These cards are good against Snake Eyes, and when you know that you're playing against Snake Eyes, 15 to 18 hand traps is fantastic. but I wanted cards that were good against every single matchup I played against. So that's why these 9 Arian, because it kind of gives you the opportunity to maybe shut down their turn if you Ash a Bonfire or Valor a Snake Eye Ash on summon. But if you Valor it and they have the follow-up, usually their board gets a bit worse. So like if you Valor Snake Eye Ash and then they summon Diabellstar, it's pretty hard for them to still make Hope Harbinger on the board. They'll just make the regular end board, and then it's like you're still kind of traded with that board with the Valor in the same way that like maybe a Talents or a Mind Control or an Eclipse would if you chose to play full breakers. And then the other cards like the Kash stuff and the Droplets and the Talents will help you break the rest of that board with your Kash stuff. The logic for the Talents is since I'm not playing all the hand traps, I can't justify playing crossouts. Talents just helps you play through boards in a really crazy way. Because like you can bait hand traps so well. Like you'll normal summon Ash, they'll use a Valor, you'll rip their extra deck with Unicorn, then you'll Talents rip their hand, then you'll go into Princess, do your whole line, and you know exactly what they have, so you can interrupt them perfectly. It's really good. These cards work phenomenally well with the Kash stuff. Like same thing I said before, Planet, search a Fenrir, summon the Fenrir, and now you're forcing them to use their effects before you even committed to Snake Eye stuff. And then you're using Droplets to punish or to prevent, and then you're using Talents to punish. So like you'll summon a Fenrir, and they have to answer it in some way because it just does so much. If they use IP effect and summon SP, you go Fenrir target Appaloosa, and then now they can't negate with Appaloosa if they don't want to lose their SP effect and the Flamberg effect. And as soon as they use one monster effect, you're just like Talents, take Appaloosa. Ooh, you know, like now you're negating their things, which is just invaluable in the mirror, and it's also good when you go first. Like you're ripping hands, and when you know what's in their hand, you can use your interruptions perfectly, and you just win the game. Like almost the knowledge is more valuable than anything. That was the logic on this. It served me really well through most of the tournament. Like I was really not losing at all until my last match of Swiss, and then the first match of Top Cut, which like felt bad that's when I started not doing the best, right? Like it's bad timing, but like the deck was really cracked for me. Again, like I said, Lucas Sacco really helped me out building the main deck. Like I basically took most of this from what he was showing me in his Discord channel. My biggest changes to the deck were in the side though. But I'll do the extra deck first. So just Blink One's Anima, then you got the IP and SP, the Charmers, you got Nightmare Phoenix, and then Puzzlemino. This card's really good. This is how you use the Jet. So Puzzlemino and Herald are really good. This is our end board. This card says any card that goes from hand or deck to graveyard gets banished. So you can't like droplet it. You can't like droplet monsters out of your hand. If you play against like a randomly like a deck that wants to send cards from deck to graveyard, this does so much value. Like against Branded, they can't use Albion. It's really strong. And then it's just an Omni Negate to help you beat like the talent takes and stuff. So you'll try to use as much of your board as possible to like interrupt them, and then you'll use this to try and negate the talent's take on your Appaloosa. Because if you can secure that Appaloosa gets 2 to 3 of its negates through without being taken, it's really hard to lose the game if they're like actually playing into the Appaloosa and not just taking or running it over or negating it. Really cool line with this is you go Hida, summon their Ash when they Ash your OSS, and then just make this with a Snake Eye, like a Snake Eye level 1. I did that like 3 times throughout the tournament, and no one was prepared for that. Multiple times, I went Hida, summon Ash, and I was about to start climbing, and then I would just scoop this into this, and I know they had an Effect Veiler or an Ogre in their hand that they just no longer could use. And the value on that was crazy, and then I just like OSS and start playing again. Puzzlemino is really cool in the line. You'll like turn Snake Eye cards into level 7s for Dracosack. And then you'll make the Dracosack token, which is level 3, and Jet plus the 3 equals the Herald. Dracosack's just also really good because when you're playing into boards, you can go like Fenrir, Snake Eye, Fenrir, Diabellstar, and make this. Detach 2, and then now you have like extenders and pops. And then another thing with Puzzlemino is you can also turn like Flamberg into a level 3 and then make that with Jet. And then that's another cool way. So there's a lot of ways to do this, to freestyle this combo into Herald. It doesn't have to be a strict way. After that, Princess, Celine, these guys, Access, Appaloosa, like nothing really different about this. I think that when you're playing the Herald Puzzlemino package, basically this is the locked in extra deck. I don't think there's a single thing you could change. Access code's really good. I guess is the most flexible spot, but like there's no way I'd ever cut this card. Like it's really usable. When you gotta blow up a board, when you're playing into Runick stun, you want to make this with IP and then just kind of pray that you can get through to the next turn and then like don't get freezing curse on this and to just pop every single one of their cards. It's like the only main deck out to that deck, and it still didn't help me, but because I did get freezing cursed every turn. But that's basically it for the extra deck. And then for the side, for our siding pattern for the mirror was just take everything. So Change of Heart, 3 mind controls. I left mine at home, so this is what I figured out. Change of Heart, mind controls, 3 thrust to search the Change of Heart and mind controls with the 3 talents in the main, and then also Duster. So our answer to skill drain was we found no one would just flip skill drain on first action, because if what we did was we sided out the Ashes and Veilers and put all of these in along with taking out the Jet and 1 Flamberg. If you start playing into their board, they always try to get value on SP and their level 1s first. So they'll like summon the SP, activate SP effect, link away Flamberg, summon back 2 1s, make a 3rd one. Like they want to search all these guys, search all their follow-up before they flip the skill drain. So if they set like 2 cards and you're playing into the board, maybe you'll start with like mind control, take something, and then you'll start playing a little bit. They'll flip they'll activate a monster effect, and then you have thrust for Duster in that scenario where they go flip a skill drain. If they don't have back row, just search another Change of Heart or a mind control or a talent or a bonfire, like a way you need to keep playing. And it really just fits every single application. Like there'll never be a monster you won't want to take. There'll never be a time where you won't want to draw 2 off talents or rip their hand. And if they have multiple sets, you'll just take the Duster and try to rip all the skill drains they have set. And that deals with more than one, deals with any imperms they have. It's really good. So that was kind of our solution for it. And like nothing's crazier than just letting them make their whole board and start the turn with Change of Heart, take Appaloosa. Then they're like, Hope Harbinger negate. And then I'm like, thrust. For mind control, take Appaloosa. And then now we're actually cooking. We did all of that before even committing to a single Snake Eye play. Then we did 2 bells. I did 2 bells. Angus did 3. I had a special little tech that I liked. This was because we were scared of Melodious Voiceless Voice and just Melodious. So we sided these in for the Ostinato builds, but then also it's just nice to have like 2 more really strong power hand traps against Voiceless Voice. And then like I also played against Lab, and like this is really good with Ash. For going first cards, 3 skill drain and anti-spell. Like I was scared of people doing this strategy to me, so I put the anti-spell in. Hopefully I draw it. Skill drains are broken, just negates everything. You put this in first or second against Tenpai and you're laughing. And then the one thing I put in was a Cerebus.
How many times did it come up?
So I only went first in Swiss twice, because I 2-0'd everybody else, so I actually never got to side this in. I put it in against Centurion, and you guys watched me use the Herald there, and he scooped before I could search this from deck. I activated Herald, he's like, you got it anyways. So I never got the chance on that. And then I put it in against Runick Stun in round 11, after I lost my first time, and the logic for that, why that was going to be crazy, is because I had an IP access code, so he can't be popped. I had a Herald with this, and I didn't summon a 3rd monster because I knew he was playing Sphere modes. Herald went to the grave. I activate Herald effect to search. And he's a good player, so maybe he thought that it was this coming out. So he just activates the 1 Runick spell that banishes 4 off the top and draws me a card. 4th card was this. So that was really fun, because I never actually got to resolve the search on this. Then next turn, he activates Freezing Curses, targets this, and then he Freezing Curses it every single turn for the rest of the game. But if I had Cerebus, maybe I could have protected it and then just popped every card he had. So that would have been a really cool application for it. But the main logic for it was, if you go first and you just draw it in your hand, you'll just use it to beat like a Effect Veiler or an Imperm on one of your cards, which almost always comes up. Except for the time where I got, what's it called? Nibbed when I had it in my hand in top 32. That wasn't the best, but the logic is that if you don't draw it, then you just make a Herald, negate something, like say you negate like a Mind Control or an Imperm on your Appaloosa, Then you activate it to search this, and you beat second Imperm, second Mind Control on your Appaloosa. And then, more important than any of that is that when they start trying to go to OTK, and they do the Zelantis Princess line, you can discard this to negate the Princess, so the Princess doesn't come out, your cards don't get popped, and then they don't get the Raging Phoenix either. And it's really strong if, like, they actually play into your board, and they're on, and they find a way to, like, get really close to OTKing you, and they get to, like, that line with just a little bit of gas left, and you negate the Princess. Usually they can't OTK you, and then in your turn 3, your gas will just blow them away. And I feel like that application was worth the 1 side deck slot. We kind of just came up with it on the fly. Like, I actually had to buy this at the event on Friday because, like, I just thought of it, like, while I was submitting the deck list. Or actually, Josh thought of it, and he sparked the interest in it. And I just kept thinking, what am I, like, this is so crazy. Like, how cool would it be if this negates a Mind Control? It never did, but I still think it's a cool idea. Anyways, so that's pretty much the list. Feel free to comment if you have any questions or anything like that. Maybe I talked for a while, but I wanted to be in depth on all the decisions, and we put a lot of thought into it, and it was a fun event. Thank you.